So, but
And
it's the,
he said,
go ahead.
well, to Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. That's also interesting.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
church here in Las Cruces called Church on the Rock. That church is no longer there. They shut down. But
Mm.
yeah, there's among
Wonder why.
fundamentalist Christians, there's this concept that it's built on Peter. There's many of them hold that.
Yeah, that's Matthew
I've seen
16,
them.
18. And I say unto
Mm-hmm.
thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And then where he tells Peter, get thee behind me, say, because I like to give scriptures so people can go look at it and know themselves. Let me see. And Yeshua said to Peter, get thee behind me, Satan, is Matthew 16:23.
Mm.
Yeshua turned and told Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. You are a hindrance to me because you're not thinking about God's concern, but human concern. And that's a certain translation. But yeah, Matthew 16:23 is where he says that.
Right.
But we see this text when he giving the real now with this
Mm-hmm.
text. He told him it's impossible to sow a seed on a rock and harvest its fruit. So nothing that y'all 12 disciples did is gonna be harvestable. It's gonna be salvageable.
Let's look at
Absolutely.
Hollywood. Let's go back to Hollywood. Back in the early 2000s, a movie came out, Dracula 2000. According to the storyline, they said that Dracula was a descendant from Judas.
Mm. Mm.
What?
This
Mm,
is the propaganda they've been putting out.
That's
You know.
exactly right.
I
That's the
say.
beware call
Mm-hmm.
sign. That's the smoke screen again to make sure you do not want to hear anything about Judas.
Right.
They told
Right.
you that
Mhm.
he was the reason why Dracula was created.
Come
That
on
that's
now.
Wow.
that's reaching
Very
this
much.
one.
That's crazy.
So Great Mother's pointing out how, he said to Peter, you're trying to do the work of humans. And right here in the Gospel of Judas, it says, the souls of every human generation will unalive. Like these masses who are just led astray, their souls will unalive. When these people, however, have completed the time of the kingdom and the Spirit leaves them, their bodies will unalive, but their souls will be alive and they will be taken up. Judas said, and what will the rest of the human generations do? Like those other people, what's going to become of them? It is impossible to sow seed on rock and harvest its fruit. This is also the way. The defiled generation, the corrupt, oh, hold on, and
Come on.
corruptible Sophia. Mm,
Yeah.
mm. The hand that has created mortal people so that their souls go up to the eternal realms above.
So yeah. It's saying they're talking about
Mm-hmm.
the corruptible Sophia, but at the same time, all of it
Mm-hmm.
is a part of the divine plan. If
Right.
Yeshua's unaliving was the part of the divine plan, then surely Sophia's creating Yaldabaoth and all of that was a divine plan, a part of the divine plan. Same way I talk about in the three descents of Barbaro, it says that she came once as a man, once as a woman, and once as one of the archons. And remember, I was talking about if that's
Right,
the
in the three
case,
descents.
right, and in the way that they were created, if that's the case, that
Mm-hmm.
because we were given the story about him being kicked out of heaven, we know that's not how he came about. So if that's the case, and if he came about the way the AOJ says, then it
Mm-hmm.
would make sense that there would be some type of salvation afforded to them, those who come from him.
Right.
And that's what this is telling you right here. It says, incorruptible Sophia, the hand that has created mortal people, because through her is where the mortals came from, because she created Yaldabaoth, so that their souls go up to the eternal realms above. That's telling you that even what she
Wow.
did was
This is blowing my mind, Great Mother, because I'm seeing the dichotomy or the duality between, he said to Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. And Peter was trying to stop what they say Judas was trying to cause. Peter
right,
was trying to say, don't unalive, don't go to the cross. And he said, get thee behind me, Satan.
right.
Judas is the one who we were told turned him over to the cross. So it's like this duality, this battle, Peter versus Judas.
Yeah,
Like you pointed
yeah.
out to me. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
The
Wow.
fake church versus the
Oh,
real church. The fake gospel versus the
wow.
real gospel. And we even know, so what it is what the 12 started versus what Mary Magdalene continued.
Wow. The Gospel of
Ah,
Mary. Okay,
yeah.
so if I'm correct, Great Mother, the Gospel of Mary would proceed after this Gospel of Judas in order, correct?
It coincides. I don't know the exact date of it by
Okay.
hand, but the text
Mm-hmm.
definitely coincides with a lot of this because
Right.
even in the Gospel of Philip, it tells you that the disciples were jealous because he kissed Mary in a different way that he kissed them. You know,
Right.
that they had the brotherly, holy kiss, so to speak, what they did back in those times. But he kissed Mary in a different way, you know. Uh, but
Wow.
and the Gospel of Mary, it tells you that they were jealous and that they were saying, surely he didn't reveal the divine secrets to a woman,
Right. I
and one,
remember
Right.
that.
yeah. So it's what the disciples started versus what she continued. And this is why it was important to defame
Wow.
Judas. It was important. They painted Judas as a betrayer. They painted Mary Magdalene as a whore. You
Right.
understand?
Mm. Mm.
The two main ones who the true church was built on. What
Mm-hmm.
Mary
Main
Magdalene?
characters.
Come on now. It was
Right.
Mary and Judas. It was Mary. She
Wow.
was the first one to quote unquote see him risen. So she was the first apostle. She was the first evangelist because she was the first one that went and told it. That's what an evangelist does. She was a teacher, you know. She had to teach them what he really meant. The revelation, same way he gave Judas revelation. He said, come over here. Let me tell you the
Mother
real.
Africa. Mother Africa.
Yes.
Let me underline a word right quick for those that's in the chat that need to be tapping that screen. All right,
Tap
let
the
me
Ashe.
screen.
let me underline something. The word apostle or apostolic means sent ones. Sent. That means they got the commission. Go and tell them. Go, go. That's a
Right.
apostle, apostolic. All right. So yes, Mary was the first apostle. Let's
Yes.
be clear. Okay.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Go ahead. Take it. Go ahead.
Ashe.
Okay.
Indeed. So
Wow.
we look at what, like I said, what she continued, because if he gave Judas that revelation and Mary was really his wife,
Mm-hmm.
That
surely
part.
she, come on now, surely she got
Mm-hmm.
what nobody got. Because this ain't
Right.
no, we ain't this ain't the fake Yeshua. This ain't the one that's going around acting like, he faithful and he with the this ain't that energy. This is the epitome of husbandry, this Yeshua. So
Wow.
surely he didn't share nothing with nobody else that he didn't share with his wife, and gave her
First.
more than what he gave the other ones. Even by spiritual right of her being his husband, she stands to inherit his ashe. You understand, spiritually, after he passes away. Same way the story of Elijah, when he was transfigured, he left. It says that Elisha got a double
Mm-hmm.
portion. In Ephah, when it's studying the subject of its spiritual power, it's said that you can't take it with you. You have to bequeath it to somebody. You have
Right.
to give your, because you don't need it in that realm, because you become ashe. You understand? You become spiritual power. So you don't need a portion of it. So you bequeath it. It stays on earth and it's passed to somebody else. And so she had certain rights, physically and spiritually, as his wife. You understand? Because physical law, worldly law, is based on universal and spiritual law. Continue on, Kev.
Indeed. Thank you
If
for the
anybody
class.
wanted to, Ashe, anybody have anything
Yeah.
to say before we continue
Gratitude.
on? Ashe.
Ashe.
This is a wow. It's, atomic, mind blowing. It is
Crazy.
impossible to sow seed on rock and harvest this fruit. Peter was called the rock. He tried to stop him from going to the cross.
Come
Wow.
on now.
This
Yeah.
is also the way. The defiled generation and corruptible Sophia, the hand that has created mortal people so that their souls go up to the eternal realms above. Truly, I say to you, angel, power will be able to see that, those to whom holy generations. After Jesus said this, he departed. Judas said, Master, as you have listened to all of them, now listen to me. Okay, so Judas is saying, Master, as you have listened to all of them, now listen to me. For I have seen a great vision. Oh, okay, I get this. So that they
He's had
told
a
their dream that they had.
yes. Now
Right.
he's telling his
And
dream.
when Jesus heard this, he laughed and said to him, "You 13th spirit, why do
Ooh.
you try so hard?
Ooh,
But
yeah,
speak
I knew
up."
you was gonna get something out of that, Alaris. Yeah,
Right, because it
we was
goes
just talking
into.
about that, the
Mhm.
13th zodiac sign, and I
Yep.
told you that's Ophiuchus, and he's the snake bearer, and he's calling Judas. He
Right.
say, "You, O 13th spirit." Same way we know that in Christianity, as with everything, we got the 12 zodiac signs, we got the 12 months, we got 12. And
Right.
each of these disciples are connected to one of the zodiac signs. So Judas, same way they took the 13th zodiac sign out, what they do about who Judas really was, they
Can I
took it
speak on
out.
this?
They
Can I
took
speak
it
on
out.
this?
I say, go ahead.
So we also know that Julius Caesar hunted down the Ophiuchus signs, all that was born under that sign, because they had very highly gifted supernatural gifts, right? That were unlike any other sign. And he was afraid of them because they threatened the reign of his throne.
Exactly. And that what so that he unalived those who was born under the sign of Judas because they threatened his throne. Same way we see they defamed or they unalived the Judas, in a sense, took him out of the gospel, unalived his presence, his true presence, because what he knew threatened their kingdom. He knew that
My
what they was
God.
gonna start, you understand, was this sacrificing and all that. Because Judas was told the real. So that's what you're saying. That's what happened above, below, within, without, and what we still see going on today with this you owe
The
13th one, the number that they told you was unlucky, which is the 12 plus one. So the plus one is Judas.
The
Ah,
13th spirit.
the 13th
Wow.
spirit is what he calls them.
Wow. And there's a lot to build on with regard to the character known as St. Patrick in history, too, which St. Patrick's Day is
Right.
celebrated of him. And it said that he chased the snakes
The
out of
serpent
Ireland.
people. Yep. The serpent
Right.
people. Mm-hmm.
And they say he established Christianity. He really established the demiurge, as we know,
Mm-hmm.
in Ireland. And there's a whole lot to dive deep in with that because, I've seen this information that the Druids came from Egypt, that the Druids were Africans who
Yep.
dwelled in Ireland. And they
Right.
brought
They
the
were.
knowledge of ancient Chem to Ireland, and he got rid of that, St. Patrick.
Well,
Yeah.
when you get the
Mm.
Sybil's book, you'll see
Mm.
that those women, the Sybil's, they were called Pythoness women. Uh,
Oh.
and then
Mm-hmm.
another name for Cybele, the great mother Cybele, is Laocoon and her serpents. And there is a statue, I forgot where it is over there in Italy, but they took that same title. And when they put men's faces on everything, there's a title. I forgot which god it was, but it's called his name and his serpents. They got that from the Sibyl women, which, when we talked about the rapture and all of that, the series that I did on that, they took these women, and this is how Rome was started. So it makes sense when we talk about these serpent people when they were ran out of different lands, because that was the science of the mother, the Sibyls. The book is called the first prophetesses of Mami Wata. So it's talking about the
Mm-hmm.
divine feminine. So to run the serpent people, or the serpent worshipers, these are the ones that subscribe to the matriarchal, you know, uh, spirituality, worshiping of the divine feminine, God as a feminine deity. These are those that were scribed, and once they brought down, the mothers, they were scattered, and their children, these women were sold, into slavery to different parts of the world,
Oh
and
my
that's what we
God.
see
You
today.
literally just went there where my
Mm-hmm.
brain was going. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I say, but yeah,
Ashe, I'm
so
about to get that book.
yeah, that serpent bearer, the
Mm-hmm.
serpent people, those are the ones that carry, because we know in the AOJ, when you was talking about this yesterday, Yeshua said it was I who caused them to eat. Barbelo, was the serpent. So the
Right.
serpent bear,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. When you take all of these different things with these apocrypha books and put them together, they fit. They fit.
Right.
They fit. And it shows you just how erroneous and misinterpreted the Bible stories is and how it's arranged to teach something totally different. Same way when we look at Revelation with John on this Isle of Patmos, he said, and I cried aloud. Who could read from the book? What he was seeing was that they had twisted this thing up so perfectly that who was going to be able to figure it out? He said, and then the angel told him, for the Lion of the tribe of Judah, Judah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah is the one who can break the seals. Seals on the chakras that have the spirit man bound. And once that is done, then
Wow.
you have the interpretation. Then you have brought forth the immortal soul from within you, as Yeshua was telling them to do. So the revelation,
Right.
the book is called The Revelation of Christ. When Christ is being revealed to you, what Christ is and what Christ isn't. The AOJ even tells you that it calls Barbelo the glory of the revelation. Same way it
Wow.
tells you that Yeshua was really Barbelo in the flesh of a man. See,
Wow.
so it
Wow.
all fits. When you put all the puzzle pieces together, you can't
It makes
unsee it.
perfect sense.
It makes perfect common sense.
And I remember you teaching us about the seven the seven churches in the book of Revelation being the seven chakras, and the
Yes,
chakras aligned to make the kundalini, which is a serpent, a snake,
right,
and they've been vilifying the snake too.
right.
We even have Moses holds up a serpent up in the
Come on
sky
now.
for
Yes, in the
medicine.
wilderness. Yes.
Right.
Hmm.
So the serpent is our strength, isn't that right, Great Mother?
Yes. The serpent is you remember in the AOJ, he says that Yaldabaoth taught them to eat, to beget by lust.
Right.
He taught, so
Right.
there's two trees. Same way when we look at the caduceus, there's two snakes that coil around that spine.
Wow.
There's two snakes,
Right.
there's two paths. And then there's the path in the middle, the
So,
spine. So one, the right and the left, same way in Hindu spirituality, we got the Ida and the Pingala, the red and the blue, going up the left side and down the right side. It's the same science, just
the
put
two
in
paths.
different, the two paths, the two trees, the mother, the father.
So, so all the religious people have been worshiping the devil all over the world. All of the
Yes,
mainstream fundamentalist Abrahamic religions, the devil's infiltrated his way into and made it look like
yes,
something totally different than what it is.
yes, exactly. And there are many that have
Wow.
been fooled by it. These different sects and societies, like I was talking about, they base it on the quote unquote gospels. You understand, the apostles, the 12, but it's telling you in this text that what they started was going to end up to be basically an abomination,
Right.
an abomination, and it's the carbon copy that
Right.
Yahweh created. It's the carbon copy of salvation, which is really damnation, the equal opposite.
Interesting. That
So
coincides to so much.
there, yeah.
Mm,
So let's go ahead
mm.
and let's listen
So
to him telling him. Let's pick up with him telling him his dream. You got something else to say before we continue?
I'm ready to rock and roll if everybody else is
Here we
ready to
go.
go. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
continue.
yes, great mother. Judas said, Master, you have listened to all of them. Now listen to me, for I have seen a great vision. When Jesus heard this, he laughed at him and said, You 13th spirit, why do you try so hard? But speak up, and I shall bear with you. Judas said to him, In the vision, I saw myself as the 12 disciples were stoning me. What?
and and
And
persecuting me.
persecuting me severely.
Mm.
What? And I also came to the place where blank is fragmented. After you, I saw a house, and my eyes could not comprehend its size. Great people were surrounding it, and that house had a roof of greenery, and in the middle of the house was a crowd, two lines missing. I'm sorry, two lines missing from the text is fragmented, saying, Master, take me in along with these people. Jesus answered and said, Judas, your star has led you astray.
Yo, what?
He continued,
Yo, what led you astray?
Ooh.
your star has led you astray.
Wonder why he said that.
He
Keep up.
continued, and the star's the destiny, as you told us, great mother. He continued, and Jesus said, no person of mortal birth is worthy to enter the house you have seen, for that place is holy. That place is reserved for the holy. Neither the sun nor the moon will rule there. Saying like the astrological alignments won't even have influence there. Nor the day, but the holy will abide there always in the external realm with the
Eternal.
holy angels. Look, I have explained to you the mysteries of the kingdom, and I have taught you about the error of the stars.
The what?
And send it on the 12 eons. Now, if I may say something real quick.
Hold on, that's deep.
But yeah, because I've heard it said that we shouldn't be getting too caught up in astrology too, because the zodiac signs are a part of the demiurge thing too. I've heard people say that the 12 zodiac signs are also part of the demiurge's paradigm. And, in the AOJ, it talks about how we made the 12 months, the 365 days, the 7 days of the week, that these are authorities from the demiurge that rule the world.
Yeah.
And I've heard the 12 disciples compared to the 12 zodiac signs. And the 12 months is the prison system that we're in.
I actually have a picture of the supper with each one of them as a zodiac sign.
Yeah. It's
right.
Uh-huh.
And I've heard it said that, astrology is true science, the zodiac signs and all that, but don't get too caught up in it because that's the demiurge too.
Same way as I talk about in that one poem, I say, I've seen the star systems beyond Yaldabaoth's ceiling. His roof is but a floor of the house that I'm revealing. So so it's talking about the era of the stars. That's what we see on this plane of existence. And when we look at the different levels, quote unquote, of heaven, saying we have how Jim talked about those different layers of the aura, we can look at that as different heavens. You understand? Because these are the chakras that ascend above you. So this is talking about your spirit man. But so he's talking about the error of the stars. I was telling you, we was discussing GM the other day. I was saying I forgot what text it was, but when it comes to these different entities that are associated with tarot readings and things like that, these deities are allowed to be right for half of the year and wrong for half of the year. Same way we know that different star systems go retrograde. So they go backwards. So we can consider that as a type of error. You understand? If you're moving in error, then you're moving in opposition to what's right.
Polarity.
Wow.
Exactly. Say that again.
Reversing the energy, polarity, purpose, all of that. Reverse.
Wow.
Right. The error of the stars.
That's why it's wrong. It's got to be wrong.
Let me ask a question, if I may. When the Savior says to Judas, your star has led you astray, if I'm interpreting this correctly, it doesn't mean that the star is evil per se itself, but that Judas maybe went the wrong way with that star's influence. Or correct me if I'm wrong.
What I gather from this, because remember the disciples had a dream too. So it was revealing who they were, and then Judas's dream is revealing what they would do to him, about how he's persecuted and all of that, right? And then after that, then he talks about this house and how it was all these basically dignitaries and stuff. And I feel like what this text is conveying is based on Judas's probably excitement when talking about this house. When he says your star has led you astray. In other words, you interpreting that correct. That's them persecuting you to try to get you to join this big house. Same way these secret societies put pressure on you and persecute you to get you to try to join them. So, and when he's talking about this, he said this is a grand house. Where does it? Let me see. Go back to what he says. No person. You become the 13th. Where is it?
It's
Calf.
above verse 46 there. Okay, so it's the
Okay.
page that,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Hmm.
see it. So he says,
Hmm.
oh yeah, he says, and I also came to a place where after something after you.
Hmm.
So whatever's missing right there, he said he came to a place where something after you. So in my opinion, it would be that he's saying something that when he came to a place that he thought it was associated with Yeshua or what Yeshua taught. And then it says, I
Hmm.
saw a house. We know that house
Right,
is symbolic of temple, church, all of that. Worship,
right,
house.
right.
And my eyes could not comprehend its size. Great people were surrounding it. So the way he's
Mm.
talking about, and that house had a roof of greenery. And in the middle of the house was a crowd. So this is the house, everybody wide as the gate. So he's talking, in my opinion, he's talking
Mm.
about this house as if it's something great. He's saying, yeah, they was persecuting me, but then I saw this great house. The persecution is for them is what they still do today with the chosen ones, with the humiliation to get you to join this quote unquote
Right.
great house, this society.
Mhm.
Wow. So his star led him astray is the misinterpretation.
Is the misinterpretation.
Okay.
He's thinking this is a
Mhm.
good thing that he's seeing with this house. So he's saying your star or your
Wow.
soul, has led you astray.
Soul. Mm.
Same way there's two paths that we can walk. We have how I talk about free will, in the sense of free will is, you're standing in front of the stove and you turn on the fire. You
Right.
can choose to put your
Right.
hand in the fire and you can choose to not put your hand in the fire. You can't make the fire not hot. There's certain set things. You can choose this or you can choose that. But if you choose this, your life will go this way. If you choose that, so his star leading him astray, he's seeing the error as a good thing. But even in this, it's in a certain sense denoting the great deception.
Right.
You see it's the great deception. Your star has led you
Right.
astray, but at the same time, it's also teaching somebody who was like Judas from the race of the perfect man, whose mind thinks on a different level. It's teaching him how cunning that this deception of this great house with all these dignitaries, people surrounded, will be.
Right.
And it kind of takes me to another thought that I've had where if you see collectively people running towards it, right? You
Yeah,
should run from it.
right.
Mhm.
The scriptures say, "Wide is the gate that leads to destruction, and there be many that enter in, but straightway and narrow is the path to eternal life, and there be few that find it."
Hmm.
Ashe. Go ahead, Calf. Let's pick up where we left off. Where
Absolutely.
are we? What verse are you?
Where Judas said, right there, it's going to be below verse 46. Today is a great day. I'm learning so much. This is a very precious treasure of a gospel, this gospel of Judas. This is very
Okay.
important that we have this book.
Right. Goes right along with
Ashe.
the ALJ.
Right. Yes, great mother. Judas said, Master, could it be that my seed is under the control of the rulers?
Did
Okay,
y'all
now I want to
today
pause right
hijack
there.
my soul?
Oh, hold on
Is
now.
what he's
Right.
asking.
Right.
Did they get
Okay.
did they get my
So
soul?
now
Did
I
they
knew
trick me
Alaris
out
was
of
gonna,
it?
right. I knew Alaris was gonna chime in because I'm chiming in too. Now the rulers we know are archons. Is that's right, right? Great mother. The rulers means the
Yes.
archons, right?
Yes.
Okay. Jesus, and so the rulers were basically talking about the ops, the bad guys, because
Right.
in the AOJ rulers, the archons are referred to as rulers. That word.
Right.
Yeah. So Judas said, Master, could it be that my seed is under the control of the rulers? Jesus answered and said to him, Come, that I, two lines missing, fragmented text, but that you will grieve much when you see the kingdom and all its generation.